Believe they targeted these children specifically from a shelter because they were black, forcing them to work as slaves.
Being charged with a felony, child neglect, creating risk of injury.
The two children were being locked in a barn at this home on Cheyenne Lane in Sissonville.
They weren't able to locate any guardians or parental figures or anybody around the residence or the barn, and started having a conversation with two children that were inside the barn.
Deputies eventually forced their way into the barn, where they said they found a 16-year-old girl and 14-year-old boy inside a 20 by 14-foot room. Investigators say the teens had no way to get out of the shed, with no running water, no bathroom. The girl told deputies their parents had brought them food around 6 o'clock that morning, but said her and her brother weren't allowed in the house and were locked in the barn for long periods every day. Eyewitness News spoke to neighbors who were afraid to go on camera, but claimed multiple families called police about the children's safety several times, and they are thankful they are now safe.
Well, I mean, it's a pretty bad case. I mean, it's you know, in any type of situation like this, it's not really comparable. A horrific condition, like, it's just not how you want or how you would even expect children to be raised or being taken care of.
Lance and Whitefeather eventually showed up at the home. They're now charged with child neglect, creating substantial risk of injury. The mother admitted the children were left in the shed, but reportedly told deputies they, quote, liked it.
They're trying to, you know, get the children back in better living conditions, better placement, and the detectives will continue to investigate and build this case.
And deputies said a third child, who was about 5 or 6 years old, was found alone in the main home. Now, the child was found crying and close to the railing of an approximately 15-foot drop from a loft.
The bond was initially set at $200,000 cash, and they were both able to post it. Prosecutors have said in a new complaint for forfeiture, the couple sold a $725,000 80-acre ranch in Washington state and sold their Sissonville home to post bond. And they believe both of these properties were paid for through trafficking. That will be decided in a separate court matter, but because of this, prosecutors say they found discrepancies in the financial affidavit Lance filled out for a court-appointed attorney, leading to a new charge on his indictment.
What up, world? You already know what it is, man. It's your boy Jeff. Cool Boy Jeff. It's the Wave 804.
It's the Wave!
Hey, look, before we go ahead and get started on this new topic for today, y'all go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, stay updated on all videos that drop on this channel, so you won't miss a thing and you'll be the first one to get it. And like always, let's go ahead and get to it. A very, very horrifying, interesting story today. Just discussing about a white couple out of West Virginia that adopted black kids to be their own slaves. Now, this is just very sad. It's heartbreaking, and because there's still people out here that do things like this. They're still live by the same way as far as years ago and stuff like that. And I'm just kind of upset that the adoption agency didn't kind of look at certain things and just wanted to be a little bit more concerned about where these kids is going. But we about to go ahead and get into it, man, because this is really sad. Okay, so I want to give a big shout out to the Atlanta Black Star. Okay, this is by A.L. Lee. All right, so this was published yesterday, so I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all a little bit about what's going on. All right, basically, as what Lee had wrote, a white couple from the rural West Virginia is back behind bars after the judge revoked the initial bond and raised it to $500,000 apiece, more than double the amount they faced last year when the police arrested the pair on charges of locking their adopted black children in a barn and forcing them to work as slaves. Donald Ray Lance, 63 years old, and Jenny K. Whitefeather, crazy, 62 years old, both at Sissonville, were ordered to reappear in Kewanna County Court on June 11, more than 8 months after each both posted a $200,000 bond following their arrest back in October. Now, this story has been out, but they have brought out more updates about it. And then again, they had these kids locked up in a barn and really treated them like slaves. They had no water, no heat, no nothing, and they barely gave them anything, man. And it's just kind of sad where you have people that want to adopt. They want to adopt kids, and they come from good spaces, good housing. You know what I'm saying? But they can't do it because it's rules and regulations based on things. And then you see people like this, and it's just like, well, do you check their background too, or do you just say, hey, you know, we believe that you're going to take care of these kids? They not only had 1, 2, or 3, they had 5 kids, 5 black kids. Okay, so just get back into the story. At the time, the police conducted a wellness check at the Cheyenne Lane home, where shocked to discover 2 other couples' 5 adopted children living in deplorable conditions, padlocked inside a ramshackle storage shed on the back of the property, which had no working lights or running water. No lights or running water, man. I'm talking about, man, these people are monsters. You know what I'm saying? They have, I mean, just to think about kids that's in foster care. You know, they're looking for a good home. They're looking for somewhere to be. They want to be loved. They want to be treated as regular kids that grew up with 2 of the same parents or 1 of the same parents. But they go through to these environments and they get different. And you know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of them don't believe in the foster care system. A lot of people don't believe in the foster care system because they worry about where these kids is going, where they're going to be, how they're going to end up. You know what I'm saying? And then the barn itself look crazy. I mean, you look at these 2, man, they look really crazy, man. Really, really, really crazy. Like mental health. You know what I'm saying? But then again, it's like, you know, this is what we're still doing. So slavery, we could say it's been abolished, but in certain places, in certain states and cities, it really ain't go nowhere. It really didn't go nowhere, man. Alrighty. So we're going to go ahead and get into the kids. Says that the abused children were identified only as a 14-year-old boy and a 16-year-old girl. A third child, identified as a 9-year-old girl, was confined to a loft inside the main house, away from the presence of adults and isolated from her other siblings, police said, according to reports. At the trial court hearing in October, Lance and Whitefeather pleaded not guilty. In the county circuit judge, Mary Claire Akers, set the bond at $200,000 each, which they both gave up their properties so they could be able to bail out of jail. I mean, they got rid of it quick. They put it on Zillow, where they sold a house for like 200. I think it was either 200,000, 500,000 of what they sold a house for, so they can be able to make bail to get out, and they did that. Okay, so the couple made bail in February, and they were released to await trial. They remained free for 7 months, but in May, a grand jury indicted the couple on more than a dozen new charges. The most serious being human trafficking of a minor child, which prompted the judge to revoke the lower bond and ordering the couple held in a lieu of millions of dollars. And then on quotating, along with human trafficking and neglect with serious risk of bodily injuries or death, I do not find the bond to be sufficient. Akers told defense attorneys during the second bond hearing about that situation. All righty. So when you see this here, they bailed out, but then again, the grand jury said, no, we need to bring them back. They need to be back here, be where they are. And we need to go ahead and take care of this, because this is a really serious matter. This says not only just slave neglect, doing these childs wrong, abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse, but it's human trafficking. These are kids, you know what I'm saying? And this is supposed to be something where kids are supposed to go places, or they're supposed to be around people that they're supposed to grow and have love for, and vice versa. But you have these individuals that went to their spot, and it's just been crazy ever since. So back to the story. They upgraded the charges, include as a use of a minor, child enforced labor, and child neglect, creating a substantial risk of seriously bodily harm, injury, or death, as well as false swearing and potential civil rights violations based on color, race, ancestry, according to court documents. The indictment suggests that there are 3 of 5 adopted children were black, and that the human rights charges stem from those children being specifically targeted and forced to work because of their race. Ain't that some shit? Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Isn't that something? These two looked at these kids and probably gave them a hell of a lot to look for, but in their mind says, oh no, we're going to work them. Or we're going to work them. We're going to work them like their ancestors worked. You know what I'm saying? Ain't that some shit? That's crazy. Alrighty, this is crazy. A small toilet seat torn from an RV was placed in the barn for the children to share whenever they had to go use the bathroom. That is so sad. During the second bond hearing, Whitefeather explained that the barn where the children were found was a teenage clubhouse, and maintained that the children were not actually locked inside. Wow, that's crazy. But the neighbors disputed this claim, saying the children were forced to perform farm labor and were not permitted inside the residence, the indictment states. When rescued, the 16-year-old girl informed deputies that they had been locked in the barn for approximately 12 hours, and had last eaten around sunrise. These poor things, man. According to Burdett, the children locked inside could not exit the shed, and deputies had to force themselves inside the shed. Now, they made sure that junk was bolted. Okay. Deputy H.K. Burdett entered the shed, and they immediately noticed a disturbing smell and a wave of heat due to lack of air circulation. This is so sad, bro. I'm dead ass. This is really sad. This is really, really sad. All right, so looks like that they just said that the next court appearance is going to be scheduled for September 9th. Based on quotation, you heard in the testimony about what these children were going through is horrifying and despicable. The Kewanna County Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Deborah Rusnak said, according to Metro News Television, there's no other way to describe it. That's just sad. That's just sad. So when you look at these people, you see how the way they are, you see what they're about, and just the fact that they got released, and you know, I mean, they pay their bond, but they had to come right back. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta, I mean, for kids in general, whether black, white, yellow, orange, pink, green, or blue. Okay, kids is kids. Okay, where these kids go up, that is their environment and how they know how to deal with things. These kids didn't have no love, no support, no nothing. These people looked at these kids, it's like, yeah, they're black, we're going to enslave them, and they're going to work for us. We're going to put them in rigorous conditions so they won't have what they need, and they don't get what they need. We give them what the hell we want to give them. Again, my heart go out to these kids. Thankful that, you know, the police was able to go there. Shout out to the neighbors that was able to say certain things about what they see, what they heard. And yeah, man, this is nothing but human trafficking at its best. Really, really at its best. And again, if we can be able to regulate some things about who we giving kids to, where these kids going, are we doing a thorough background check, on these people? Because that's how it is. Because, I mean, then again, you don't see too many black people adopting white kids. Let's just state the facts. That from us would be music to them. That's how white kids get adopted. Because of music. Rap music, want to be, you know, but we don't do that. And if we did do that, you don't hear things like that. I've never heard anything about these kids get treated wrong. And these kids grow up just like they're one of us. Why these kids couldn't get the same thing? You don't know where these kids came from, how they was brought up, the conditions they was brought in, and for the fact that they was moved from the agency and then now being put with some people that really don't give a damn about their well-being or care about them. Would the agency still would have let them continue to adopt? Even though they had 5 kids and they may have to do some internal investigation. So before, like they had 5 black kids, bro. 5 of them. 5 of them. Sad, man. It had 5 black kids, and it's just like, it's for certain people, it's hard for them to adopt because they may not have this and this and this, but people like this can. You know what I'm saying? So, again, just to let y'all know, prosecutors argued that even if the bond money came from legitimate sources, that it was used to intend to further human trafficking and forced labor operations. Okay? Let's just say, Mr. Akers, he said it alleges human trafficking and human rights violations, the use of forced labor, Akers said. According to reports, human rights violations specific to the fact and that these children were targeted because of their race, and they were used basically as slaves from what indictment alleges. My prayers, my love, my heart go out to these kids, man. I hope they go somewhere where they can be able to get some help. I know this is very traumatizing, but they can still go to a family that can give them love and support. You know what I'm saying? Lock these 2 up, throw away the key, put them somewhere else. That's just me, because I mean, like, kids is kids. Let kids be kids, bro. And not only these kids come from, you know, a foster care home, but they get moved into somewhere and they have to work like they're slaves, and they only wanted but just love and support. But y'all just let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell. Let me know what you think about the story. I will give y'all more updates about that. You know what I'm saying? If you really want to tune in with me, tap in. The Wave 804 on all social media platforms. Every social media platform you can find me, The Wave 804. And we're going to go ahead and go from there. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment box, man. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell. You know what I'm saying? I love my subs, man. I love when my subs can, you know, we can talk. We can talk about things. Because, again, you know, engagement is great, but I want y'all to really get to know me for me. You know what I'm saying? Instead of doing these interviews and all this other stuff. But we're going to get to know each other. But just let me know what y'all think about that. New stories coming soon. I'll see y'all later on. Y'all be safe. Stay out the way. Peace.